So if you have a proper outlook, then you can turn negatives
into positives. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I think everybody goes through some level of trauma. Yeah. Everybody goes through some level of hardships and hard times, you know. But the funny thing is that, I mean, we always talk about turning your trials into your testimony. Like, Colombia. Medellin. Big up.
Alright, welcome.
Good morning, good afternoon, good whatever time that you're in, because you're alive. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the Perspective Pvdcast. We're here to change your perspective
and elevate your mindset, man.
Yeah, I know what it is. You know, we had to get a different scenery, a different vibe, a different energy. Right now, we are in beautiful Medellin, Colombia. You know, we've been out here a couple of days, really just trying to, you know, vibe out, get a new perspective.
See another part of the world.
You know what I'm saying? New part of the environment. You know what I'm saying? So today, we really want to kind of switch gears and speak more about triumph and trauma.
And turning trauma into triumph, you know? You're the person that gives meaning to the situations that happen in your life.
For sure.
So if you have a proper outlook, then you can turn negatives into
positives. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I think everybody goes through some level of trauma. Yeah. Everybody goes through some level of hardships and hard times, you know? But the funny thing is that, I mean, we always talk about turning your trials into your testimony, like really understanding the fact that it's like, just because you go through hard times doesn't mean that it's always going to last, doesn't mean that it is going to hurt you in the future. It is actually the thing that is going to build you and help you to be able to give you a test for your testimony at the end. I think that's probably the biggest thing, and having a positive relationship to sometimes things going bad. 100%. You know what I mean? And not getting down on yourself and feeling like, damn, woe is me. This is all I have. Like, you know, life is over. Like, it's like, hey, this is just a season. You know what I'm saying? And understanding that at the end of the day, this is a season, and next week, next year, next month, next whatever is going to be better because I'm going to decide that it's going to be better. 100%. You know?
I mean, and you can tell the character of somebody based on how they react to negative situations.
Yeah, how they handle it.
Because how you do one thing's how you do well. So if something negative happens and you respond with the attitude of being better and improving instead of woe is me, then that'll translate into other areas. So a common thing that we, you know, like people my age, the people I chill with, them trying to get shorties and stuff, like you can see how they react based on not being successful.
Yeah,
or,
you can always see how. Yeah,
you can always see how it is, you know.
For sure.
It's the people that actually get the most shorties. You've seen them
laid back, calm. They've been in this environment. They've been battle tested. They understand what it is. They know how to maneuver and go about it, because it's like, I've been in this situation before. So now it's like when chaos comes, when calamity comes, when something happens that's a negative, now it's like, oh, I've seen this before. I know what this is. I know what this looks like. It's like driving down a road that you've been down. Oh, I know there's a turn here. I know there's going to be a pothole here. I know already before we even get there. I've seen this before. I know how to operate. I know now how to be better, how to maneuver better, how to get over this. And I understand this is just for a moment. This is just this part of the street. But I got so much more to go. I know at my destination, it's going to be so much better because I've already walked this path before. I know what this looks like. And that's why it's so important we talk about is to get a mentor, to get somebody that's walked that path, that's been able to go through those experiences, that knows what it feels like to lose a business, to be down and out, to be bankrupt, to be whatever. You know what I mean? Because it's like they'll be able to teach you and be able to allow you to skip steps in life because it's like they've already went down that path. You know what I mean? They've already seen those potholes. They know there's a bend in the road that might be, you know what I'm saying? They've seen it all. So being able to not only have that experience for yourself, because sometimes you got to walk through it by yourself, you know that, but also having somebody else that can be able to tell you, hey, I've seen this. I know what this looks like. Be calm. Be still in this moment, because there's so much more available. You know what I mean?
So much more. And like, even when you have somebody like that can impute the wisdom based on the things they've gone through, you become more willing to try new and to fail. Like we spoke about this before, but like continuously trying to try new things and be willing to fail, because you can only succeed based on how much you fail. Like,
and failure is inevitable.
It's inevitable.
Your trauma is inevitable, but it's how you deal with it. It's how you go about going through the hardships and saying, I'm going to be better. and having a positive outlook and a positive perspective through it all. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, it's coming. I promise you that those hard times are coming. Yeah. I promise you there's going to be times where you might feel like, man, I'm not doing what I need to be doing, or I might not be where I want to be, or, you know, I'm just going through it. This has just been a horrible month or a horrible week. But it's like, has it been horrible? Because I'm alive. I have people that love me. Yeah. I'm able to breathe, to move, to be able to do what I need. You know what I mean? So it's like also, even in the midst of going through your trauma, having a positive perspective, because it's like, at the end of the day, I'm still here and I'm still able to fight another day to become better.
100%.
You know?
I think it is 100% the mindset and how you view it. There's the quote by Seneca, you know, for the episode. Quote by Seneca says, we often struggle more in imagination than in reality.
100%.
It's 100% in your head, and you create this situation of, oh, if it goes bad, this is gonna happen. I'm done. I'm over with. But when you go through the situation, you actually see you're stronger than you think.
Yeah. And I think that's the realest thing. I think for me, somebody that is an overthinker, that has to sit down and process and take it in. And sometimes you have paralysis of just always kind of sitting there and going through it before actually going on and taking that step. I think that's the realest thing, because sometimes something you thought in your head was so bad, it was so negative, it's that I'm in my head about it, and it's like, yo, when you actually go through it, it wasn't even as bad as you thought it was. It was you putting your own spin on it, your own tweaks, your own flavoring, your own spices on a situation that didn't deserve it. It didn't need it. It was already seasoned, and you sat there and had to add some extra stuff because you felt like, and it wasn't even what you thought it was. And now you walk through and you're like, oh, it wasn't even that bad. It wasn't even, you know what I'm saying? So you kind of have to go through those situations and those scenarios and really walk through those steps, walk through that storm to be able to say, okay, no, I'm going to keep a positive outlook. I'm going to keep a positive perspective because I know that there's better out there. And my goal is sunshines. My goal, that my final destination is clear. It's smooth sailings. You know what I mean? There is no rocky seas. You also have to understand that. But keeping a positive perspective throughout it all.
100%. And like even the positive perspective, we're always looking at the outcomes. And like that's the first mistake, because you can't control the outcomes.
For sure.
So it's just about focusing on the input and the things you put into it. That's why everyone always says it's the process, it's the journey, not the destination, because that's what you have control over. And if you fall in love with that, then the outcome is just an add-on to the journey that you already enjoy doing. You know,
I mean, even just to close, I think the biggest thing that Kobe said is the real dream, living the dream, isn't you playing basketball every week. It isn't you going out and having the fast cars or that. Those are the byproducts of the dream. But the dream is the work. Is the waking up early in the morning to get what you need to get done. It's the going through those meetings that you have to go through, because that's what's gonna elevate you. It's going through the menial, the little things, that is actually the dream. And so many times, like you said, we look at the byproduct of you going and trying to be successful, instead of actually sitting down and saying, okay, well, the dream that I'm wanting is the journey. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you travel, you know how it is. The most fun is right before, and you're packing all your clothes and you're planning, and you're like, okay, we want to go here, we want to go there. That's the fun part. And then when you get there, you're like, oh, I'm able to experience. I can sit down, and then you're like, okay, well, what do I do now?
And it's interesting, like
you know what I'm saying?
When you travel, like you get to a place and. There's a story about this, but I'm not gonna get too deep into it. But you get to a place and you look out, and it's beautiful, and then the first thought is, I can't wait to come back here next year. Yeah, you know, because that's where you find the joy.
The journey. It's
not actually being
it's the
there.
Countdown to the moment.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And that's probably the biggest thing. So thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the Perspective Podcast. Y'all know that we're here every Wednesday to give you guys a new perspective and a new mindset. You know that we love you, that we're proud of you, and that we're praying for you. Just thank you so much for taking this journey with us. Like I said, we in beautiful Colombia, Medellin, and we're just going to keep giving you guys great content, great ideas, great things for you to just chew on every week, to just be able to digest and to really make your life better. So I hope you're listening. I hope you're sharing it with your friends, with your best friends, with your mom, your dad, your whoever, that you want to edify them throughout the week and encourage them to be better. You know, it's Roman here. You know what I'm saying?
It's Joshua.
You know what it is. So every Wednesday, we'll see you guys. Love you guys. We're here to give you guys a new perspective.
Yeah, man. Tune in for the next episode Wednesday.
Y'all know this.